making sure it's getting on there. All right. I'll wait for you to come over and then I'll be careful.
Go ahead, start talking.
Oh, hello and welcome to another episode of Indie Life Adventures. Today we are coming to you from Haulover Inlet in Miami, Florida. Hopefully you can
Haulover,
see.
babe.
Oh, Haulover? Haulover in Haulover Inlet from Miami, Florida. Hopefully you can see the choppy water behind me and catch a glimpse of the guy who's on the hydrofoil hoverboard looking thing. It's kind of cool. But previous to today, I had only seen this place on YouTube videos where Nick would show me where the motorboats were trying to, oh my gosh, we get to watch a boat. Oh, I'm so excited.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
we had watched so many YouTube videos of boats trying to make it out of this inlet, and it looks absolutely terrifying because of the chop of the water. And we just so happen to get to watch a boat go through it. So I am gonna turn around to see this. I would be absolutely terrified to do that. I mean, it's tossing that giant boat around like it's a rubber ducky in a bathtub. These guys look like they know what they're doing. We've watched many YouTube videos where boats practically get subsumed by the waves. That guy did a rock star job. Wow, so very cool. I love it that we got to see a boat go through there. Another one's on its way too.
All right, well, I'll leave the camera where it's at and I'll come find you over there, okay?
Okay, all right. Nick is gonna make his way over to me as we tell you a little bit about this quick impromptu adventure. We arrived on Saturday and today is Tuesday and we fly home today. So it was super quick. We really only had a full day on Sunday to explore, a full day yesterday on Monday to explore, and then today we fly home. But in that amount of time, I really think we did about all we could do. And here to tell you all about it is my lovely husband, Nick.
All right.
And hopefully while he's talking, you can see this boat.
It's the police boat.
Oh, the police boat. I'm sure they've got this down pat. So forgive us if we're distracted as we watch the boat go through the inlet.
Well, let's just watch it go through here.
Yes.
It'll come
So
into
cool.
screen here in a second, but.
Yeah, they got this figured out. Man, amazing. It's like once you get through it, it's calm-ish out there, and it's super calm this way. It's just right at this meeting of the ocean and the inlet is just the churn.
Right, so hopefully the video doesn't shut off. Last time it shut off after a few seconds, like 45 seconds, so
yeah. So
we recorded the whole thing, but we didn't record it. We just thought we did. So we did a dry run. It was a rehearsal.
Yeah.
And that'll help us keep this nice and concise and keep things on track. So what did we do first when we got here? We got the rental car.
Yep.
We headed to the hotel.
Yep. And then we genuinely had zero pre-made plans.
Right.
Zero. But we called and talked to your mom, who lives in Jacksonville, and she was talking about how two of the things she always wished she could do is go to the Everglades and go to Key West. So essentially, I think that was the little nugget we needed to figure out what to do with our 2 full days that we were going to have to explore the south of Florida.
Right, and I don't know if we kind of had an idea, like maybe we would go see the Everglades and maybe we would head towards the Keys.
I don't think I had any idea of that.
But we knew we were in proximity,
yes.
Right? And we're like, but the thought of driving a couple hours each way for either of those things, I don't know if we were keen on it, but then what we realized is that if we stayed in this area, we'd just be kind of repeating a process of eating, drinking, and shopping.
Yeah, and
Right?
I think one thing that helped us decide to go inland was the wind. Because we had got up Sunday morning and went to the beach, which was just right across the road from where we were staying. And the wind was so high that a day on the beach was out of the question. It just would not have been enjoyable.
Oh yeah, 20 to 25 knot winds, consistent.
Like the waves
And-
were just pummeling the beach.
And that wasn't even within, yeah, you couldn't swim for sure.
Oh no, you could barely, I wouldn't have even waded.
No.
So yeah, so that was whenever it occurred to me like, hey, the Everglades are inland, let's go that way.
Right.
And it turned out perfectly.
Now it was windy, mind
It
you.
was, which we felt very much on our bike ride.
Someone decided after we went on our airboat tour
Yeah,
in Coopertown,
yeah, we
which
did
was great. It was actually
really was
a
great.
fun little tour. They take you around the Everglades in a big airboat.
Yes.
And
It was super casual, laid back. You didn't even need reservations. We just
Yeah.
pulled in, and right when we got in, they got us on the very next boat. We spent an hour going through the Everglades, and they were pointing out the different wild alligators, saw turtles, lots of birds. Like, it was
Yeah.
really great. And then from there, it was just like another 10 miles to get to the Shark Valley Visitor Center.
which is part of the Everglades
Yep.
National Park, right?
Yes. And so when we got there, you could choose to either, they have a 15-mile loop, and you could walk it, you could take the tram, or you could bicycle.
There's another guy.
Oh, yes. We pause to observe boaters. I think the YouTube videos must just hone in on the inexperienced ones, because these guys are doing great at getting out of this
I think
inlet.
he does a fair job of getting them all, I think.
Okay, we need to put his
but what's
channel.
exciting is the ones that aren't so great, because you watch them
Man,
basically
it's scary.
dive their boat into waves, right?
Yeah.
So, Shark Valley Nature Center, right?
Yes, so we decided to do the bike ride. And granted, we weren't prepared for this at all. Like, Nick rode 15 miles on the bicycle in blue jeans. Like, this wasn't something we planned to do.
That's right. I had blue jeans and my Vans on.
Yes. And while we were biking, we counted and saw 45 alligators and 1 crocodile on this one 15-mile path.
And we're not talking like you're at a zoo and they're in a cage.
Oh no, they're in the wild, laid up on the side of the road. Like, it was,
They're where you are right now,
yes, yeah.
watching us from the camera. That's where
The distance.
The distance they were from me to you, right?
Yes.
Well,
Yeah,
not
they
from
were
me to you, but from us to you.
From us to you.
Yeah.
But while we started this bike ride, it had totally, I completely forgot about the fact that the wind had been an issue on the shore. And the way this loop works, you ride out to an observation point and then you ride back. And we had gotten there at 3 in the afternoon, and you had to have the bikes back by 5 o'clock. And
Right.
so the lady's like, well, you can rent the bikes, but 2 hours, you're gonna have to like pedal, don't stop and take pictures, like really be mindful of the time. So when we get underway, we are just pedaling and we're like, we got this. What's this lady talking about? There's
yeah.
no trouble here.
We made our first half of the loop
Like in 40
in
minutes.
40 minutes.
And then reality set in when we turned around and had to make our way back. Holy crap, did
Yeah.
all that wind let us know of its presence, because that was an endurance bike ride like no other. It was
Yeah.
a mental challenge to just keep pedaling.
I went from, and mind you, these aren't multi-speed bicycles. These are single-speed bikes.
That you have to like pedal backward for the
You know,
brakes.
like
There's
when
no
you were a
hand
kid and you
gears.
had like the little brake on your pedal, the pedal brake. That's exactly what we had.
But yeah,
Yeah.
it was great. I'm so glad we did it, but we for sure got our workout in on the way back.
Right. On the way out, I felt like I was Charlie Sheen in Navy SEALs, where he's chasing the car, the tow truck, you know? And then on the way back, I felt like I had missed the tow truck.
Oh man.
Oh, they decided
came back quick.
to come back in.
Yeah.
They
must have forgotten something at the dock.
Either that or they didn't make it out.
Oh,
They decided they didn't want to make it out. I don't know.
I don't know. Hopefully y'all could observe the boaters. But yeah, so that was a lot of fun. And then on the way back from the Everglades, we were hungry and heading back to the hotel and had no idea what we wanted to eat. And it was just one of those things where you're driving along and trying to decide, are we having Burger King, McDonald's, Wendy's, something, like just something on our way back. And we were running out of options, and we're like within 2 miles of getting back to the hotel, and we're both so undecided on what we wanted to eat.
That's right.
And you pulled into
the Publix parking lot,
a grocery store strip mall.
That's right.
And like a beacon in the night was this seafood restaurant.
Juicy Seafood.
Juicy Seafood. And
Yeah.
it just called to us. And I was so excited because it was one of those seafood places where it's like the seafood boil. And we had 3 different kinds of crab, a ton of shrimp, potatoes, and corn, all in this Cajun spicy boil. I was in heaven. It was the perfect way.
And we had a robot delivering us our drink.
They did. At this restaurant, you placed your order with the waitress, and then this robot came and delivered the drinks to your table.
I think his name was Captain Jack.
Captain Jack, yeah.
Yeah.
It was the coolest thing ever. I imagine every restaurant in the future will have these, but this was our first experience with the robot waiter. They come up and they've got the tray, and you take your drinks, and then they have like all the napkins and stirrers and things, and then you press a button on his face that says like return the robot, and he turns around and motors off.
And he says, watch out, Captain Jack is coming through.
Yeah, it was so good.
Yep.
I loved that day. It was perfect. Between the airboat tour, the bicycle ride, all the alligators, and capping the evening off.
40, well, we saw like 50 alligators that day.
Yes, at the during the bike ride we saw 46. While we were on the airboat, I think we saw 5, give or take.
Yeah.
And then plus at the Cooperstown, they had a few in captivity. So all in all, more than 50 alligators in one day when we had no expectations of even seeing one.
And we saw a giant Burmese python.
Yes, not in the wild. That was at Cooperstown.
Yeah.
But also on the bike ride, we saw a crane in the water pluck a fish right out and fly away with a fish in its beak.
Oh yeah?
So that was kind of cool.
He had dinner.
Yes. So that covers Sunday. Yesterday was Monday. We woke up not sure what we wanted to do, but with that little idea percolating about going to Key West, we at first thought we would just go to Key Largo because it was closer. Who wants to spend the whole day in the car?
Right, right.
But once we got underway, we just kept going.
We couldn't help ourselves.
Key West was like a magnet drawing us in.
Well, it's hard not to. Like, we've been to the northernmost point of the contiguous Northwest, which is Cape...
Was that Flannery Point?
Cape Flattery, I believe.
Cape Flattery in Washington?
Yep.
That was like a year and a half ago. And then this time we saw, as we were looking up different things in Key West, that was the southernmost point in the continental U.S. And they have this big buoy right there that's all painted up where you're at the southernmost point. And that buoy must have just been like sending out a beacon to us.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Because we just kept going. We did stop about halfway down at a state park and walked along the beach and got our feet in the water and just stretched a little bit. And then we just kept going. And we made it to Key West by, I think we were there by 2 o'clock, had a late lunch, walked around, saw the sights, and were reminded that there are a ton of military benefits that we have access to that we forget about. Because in Key West, there are multiple Navy bases that have Navy lodging. They have the MWR rentals, that's Morale, Welfare, and Recreation, where you can rent boats,
kayaks,
paddle boards,
fishing
gear,
equipment.
all of that for extremely low cost. And it just was a good reminder to look up those places, especially when we're traveling to new places, to just see if we're maximizing our benefits.
Right.
So it was a good reminder. We did go on the Navy base and stopped at the NEX and bought a few souvenirs. and took a look at their marina and found out some different information about if we ever maybe want to bring the boat down. So all in all, it was a really good trip.
Definitely.
We drove from Fort Lauderdale to Key West, and we're still home before 9 o'clock p.m.
That's right.
And it was beautiful. The water,
we saw some deer.
we did.
There's an area right up there. I don't think it's Key West specifically. I think it's
One of the other islands on the way.
Boca Chica or somewhere a little bit closer. And
It's like a deer sanctuary.
yeah, it's like a deer sanctuary. They had signs up, and at nighttime the speed limit goes down to like 25 miles an hour because of them. We happened to take a road. We were going to see if we could get some sunset views by Long Beach, right?
Yes.
Long Beach Road, and apparently the deer love it down there because we are on the way back through, had slowed down so I could take some pictures of the deer.
And the deer had zero fear.
Oh, yeah.
It just came up to Nick.
He was going to come in the window. I was like, no, this is not going to turn
And
into...
it had antlers and everything.
Yeah, we weren't going to turn that into like one of those national park scenes where...
Yeah.
So I'm like, let's go.
Time to go.
Time
so
to
we
go.
left the deer behind.
So we left the deer alone.
And made our way back to Fort Lauderdale.
We did not feed the deer.
No.
We did not injure the deer.
We did not feed any of the chickens either.
We didn't feed the chickens.
I didn't know Key West is
Roosters
full
has-
of chickens. They're
Roosters and chickens and...
Yeah, roosters and hens.
Yeah.
They seem to just be everywhere. I think it's maybe part of their charm because even the souvenirs all had like rooster pictures on them.
Yeah. I think it's famous for roosters.
Yeah, I don't know. Apparently there's no starving people there because that'd be the first thing I'd go after is a chicken.
Right.
But yeah, so our quick trip, we crammed a lot into it between the Everglades, Key West. Today, we've stayed put close to the hotel, although I guess we're now in Miami. They're very
we're in
close
Miami.
together.
Yep.
But it is a beautiful day. The wind has significantly decreased.
Oh, yeah.
Because we could have never done this video with the level of wind that was here on Sunday.
Yep.
But yeah,
Oh, it looks like we got some sea-doos that are going to come out the inlets. That'll be interesting to see.
well, as the jet skis make their way, I am going to introduce our newest segment.
Go ahead.
All right, so our newest segment is called Dory's 2 Cents. And I'm open to new name suggestions if you think that name is a little weird. It was just the first one I came up with.
Oh, we also have to mention our website so that they can see our photos.
yes. You can close it up with that.
All right.
So after we filmed the episode all about how we traveled to Japan for almost free using our travel rewards, I wanted to include a segment just talking about how we're using our credit card benefits while we travel. So for this episode of Dory's 2 Cents, we used the Southwest Companion Pass, which was a benefit received from the Chase Southwest credit card. We were able to get 2 round-trip tickets from DC to Fort Lauderdale, together less than $200. So that is one benefit that we received. Also with our Amex Platinum card, that gives you $200 per year in airline credits. We use that to get the early bird check-in and to pay for our drinks on the flight here. We use the Reese restaurant credit, which is a benefit that comes with the American Express Gold personal card. That gives you $50 every 6 months toward a restaurant. We used that this morning for a brunch. I guess technically it was lunch by the time we got to the restaurant. Phenomenal food, and so that came in really handy. Another benefit we used on the Capital One Venture card, you get $250 worth of hotel credits once per year, and we use that to help pay for our room at the DoubleTree. So for Dory's 2 Cents, those are a few of the benefits we used for this particular trip.
All right. And so also, we have some photographs that we'll be placing onto our website, which is something out there we talk too much about, but now that we have IndyLifeAdventures.com,
Yes.
which is N as in November, D as in...
Please, N as in Nick,
Oh.
D as in Dory.
Yeah. Life, L-I-F-E, adventures.com.
So we're starting to add content there, but that's where
Yeah.
you can see the photographs that go along with this episode, as well as at the Indy Life Adventures Facebook page.
That's right. And we'll get those posted up probably, I think we might get them done tonight. If not tonight, it'll be early this week, I think.
Oh yes, because that's one more Dory's 2 Cents travel benefit we're going to have. The American Express Platinum card gets you the priority pass, which gets you into the lounge at the airport. You can get into the lounge up to 3 hours before your flight, and you get all the free food and drinks that you want. And so while we're in the lounge, I'll probably do the posting and upload the photographs.
That's awesome.
Maybe I'll add a picture of the lounge for those of
Right.
you who haven't got to experience it before, but it makes being at the airport an entirely different experience.
It can. Well, at least you're not hungry.
Oh, you're not hungry at all.
And you're not thirsty.
You're not thirsty.
You know.
And you're not losing any money.
And you're not
'Cause
spending
it's
any money. That's right.
completely free.
Yeah. It's a nice place to kind of relax sometimes.
Comfy chairs, internet.
If you have the benefits, use them, right?
Exactly. And that's the point, because we opened up all these cards for the points to be able to travel for next to nothing. And the cards just come with these extra benefits that in the beginning I didn't pay much attention to. But now I'm trying to really pay attention and use the benefits that come with these cards.
Yeah, read your read the
it comes with
manual.
a manual,
Yeah.
but also on the apps it goes through the benefits.
Yeah, just pay attention to your benefits because they're
worthwhile.
They are, yeah. We got
Yeah.
some cool stuff from it, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Well, do you want to give them a quick look around before
yeah.
we close this
Did
episode?
we really talk about the inlet here, or did we not?
I don't know.
We showed them kind of coming out, but
Maybe you could talk it a little bit.
yeah. So I'll show you guys a little bit more of the inlet and the Haulover beach area over here, so you can kind of see that. It's Miami-Dade County, and it's one of the few ways to get in or out of the intercoastal waterway this far south.
Which is kind of the one main thing I wanted to do here in Fort Lauderdale, was to see the intercoastal waterway, because as we're putting together our plans for what life is going to look like when we start our sailing adventure, it will likely include a trip down the intercoastal waterway, and Fort Lauderdale is the place that is the shortest distance to get from the United States to the Bahamas. A 60-mile trip will take you from Fort Lauderdale to the first Bahama island. So there is a strong likelihood that that may be the path we take. So we figured while we were here, why not take a look at the intercoastal waterway to just kind of do a recon and see what's in our future.
Now, I don't think we'll be coming out here because I don't think I have a bridge or a drawbridge.
And I don't think this inlet is appropriate for sailboats, because I would not want to go through that chop.
Oh no, I don't think we have enough motor to get out that.
We will find a different way.
That's right.
There are other exits from the intercoastal waterway to the Atlantic.
But all right, I'm going to scramble across these rocks and I will give you guys a little bit of a view. You have anything else you want to say?
No. If I think of something, I'll ad-lib while he's scrambling along.
All right.
I have a healthy fear of dropping electronics into the water since I had lost my cell phone in the Chesapeake. So having the camera and the mount and the microphones in an unretrievable place makes me a little nervous.
All right. So there's a lot of people that come out here and shoot footage of people out here in the inlet. One of the things about it is you have all this water that either is going in or out because of the tide. It's the one of the few places where the water can actually make its way to the ocean. And so you get this really insane currents, especially when they're opposing each other. Right now we got a wind that's blowing in and water that's going out. So you get some crazy chop. And that's about it. I'll show you the beach side. And I think we'll go ahead and cut it here. You guys have a good one. We'll see you next time.